It's Saturday, March 7th, 2026. We have a special guest today, live from the English Valley's History Center. Here's Jackie.
Hello, my name is Jackie Geringer McDermott, and we have a special guest today. Cassie Royk is here from the Knoll Ridge Pool.
I just wanted to give everybody an update. Last weekend was incredible, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out and supported our pool fundraiser at the pub. Your support means so much to this project and to our community. And a big thank you to the pub, Trent and Jake, for allowing us to host this event at your establishment. It was a fantastic day, and together we were able to raise $6,000 towards reopening our pool. The excitement didn't stop there. This week, the city voted to approve the 28E agreement, which now allows us to apply for grants. This is a huge step forward for this project and will help us pursue funding for the second phase of the project. We truly appreciate the city's partnership and support on this project. And then to top it off this week, we also received a very generous donation from Cox Sanitation. We are incredibly grateful for their contribution to this project as well. It has been an amazing week and truly shows the support and strength of our community and the support behind reopening our pool. Again, thank you to everybody who continues to make this project possible for us.
Thank you for coming, Cassie, and we'll
Thanks.
see you again in the future.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to mention today that we have in-house one of our listeners from far away. Rita Wade from New York City is in the building today too. This diary was written by Libby Wade. She was my dad's great aunt, and her full name was Mary Elizabeth Claypool Wade. She is 75 years old in 1950. Here's a picture of Lib taken in 1919 or before with her father Jonathan Claypool on her left, her son Wayne or Perky Wade, her daughter Anna Wade, her sister-in-law Rosa Claypool, her sister-in-law Daisy Claypool, and Daisy's husband and Lib's brother Henry Claypool. October 6th, 1950. Maud Moore's 66th birthday. She is 10 years and 10 days younger than I am. Maud Moore was the granddaughter of Lib's uncle Samuel Claypool and the daughter of her cousin John Tabor Claypool. Maud was married to Charles Moore and is now buried in Belle Plaine. This is such a nice day. Warmer. I have been cleaning the floors. Hard for me to do, but I am so glad when it is done. Russell and Mildred went to a church party for Keith McKinstry last night. He is to go back into service in a few days. Russell Wade was Lib's youngest son, and she lives in his house with him on East Oak Street in North English. Mildred Reese was Russell's girlfriend. And Keith McKinstry was the grandson of Lib's old friend Bertie McKinstry. A little history on Keith McKinstry. Keith was born in 1928 in North English to Glenn and Bernice McKinstry. He grew up on the family farm just outside of town and graduated from North English High School with the class of 1946. Deciding that the farm life was not for him, Keith enlisted in the United States Army in 1948. He was stationed in Sendai, Japan, later transferring into the reserves. On his return to Iowa, he was shortly called back to Korea to serve for another year. For his honorable service, Keith received the Korean Defense Service Medal and 3 Bronze Stars. Returning to Japan in 1952, Keith was united in marriage to his bride, Fumiko. They lived in the Quad Cities and raised their 2 daughters there. They are both buried in the North English Cemetery. I received a card from Tracy. She is visiting in Unionville, Missouri. Tracy Wallace was Lib's friend and my paternal great-grandmother. She and her first husband, James Riley Geringer, were both born just over the state line in Putnam County, Missouri. Russell put on the range stovepipe this morning, and I have burned a lot of paper or trash. Glad to have a way to dispose of it. John and Lucy are staying at Lowell's now. He is hard to manage at times, and Lucy is not able to get along alone with him. His mind is not so good anymore. John and Lucy Whitmore were friends of Lib from the days when she taught in the Green Valley School before her marriage. Lucy's parents were Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Hudson of Hinkletown. John and Lucy's daughter Henrietta is married to Lowell Churchill, and they live directly across the street from Lib. Their daughter Joanne was married to Larry Harris, and they owned the same house until their recent deaths. And here is the Churchill house where Larry and Joanne lived recently, and now we call this the Greg Wilkerson house. And Lowell Churchill is Henrietta's husband, and he's in the center of this picture. Second from the right. I received a card from Hattie. She thinks she is getting along good. Maud came up in the PM. Also, Leona was here. She had word by phone that Hattie was not so well as when she wrote. The incision tore loose. Stitches didn't hold. She will have to be in bed quiet for at least 10 days. Too bad. Maud Foster Claypool was a neighbor and married to Lib's nephew, Ray Claypool. Leona Morse Bursler was married to Levon Bursler. They are on the left in this picture. They are a young married couple and live in the boarding house of his aunt, Hattie Newberry Killian. Hattie is one of Lib's best friends. She has cancer and has recently undergone a hysterectomy at University Hospital in Iowa City. Leona also told about Mr. Weimer. He fell uptown yesterday, and they fear his hip is cracked. Leona called Levon and another man, and they came and took him to the county home. Ernie Weimer, on the right side in this picture, was the father of Maggie Wade, and he is seen here in this picture with Maggie, his grandson Francis, or Pete Wade, and his great-granddaughter Karen Wade. Ernie had just come to live at Hattie's boarding house for the winter because he is getting so feeble. They have taken him to the Iowa County home where he can receive the nursing care he needs. Mary R. was here today too. Received Anna's letter and a birthday card and a pretty handkerchief from Mrs. Shute. Mary Regseger, who is pictured on the back right of this picture with her husband Fred Regseger. Mary Regseger was a Lib's friend from down the street who has recently recovered from being very ill. She used to supply Lib with eggs and garden produce. Bye. See ya. Anna Cray is Liv's only daughter who lives in Texas, where she and her husband Richard are citrus farmers. Jessie Shute was a friend of Lib's, the one that sent her the card and the pretty handkerchief. Jessie was the mother of Leona Glantz and the grandmother of our old family friend, Dean Glantz. October 7th, 1950, cloudy and dark. Some rain, but not much. Russell heard last night that Orville Carter died at Cedar Rapids sometime yesterday or last evening. Orville Carter, spelled C-A-R-D-E-R, was from North English and had several siblings, including Onal or Tiki Carter, Maxine Bender, and Gil Mahana. Orville was only in his early 50s when he passed away. I had to have a tank of gas this morning. Leland Miller brought it. He said there was a leak outside, so he put on a new connection. Lib is talking about bottle gas that is used for her cook stove. Leland Miller works at Miller Hardware, which is a half a block away. In this picture at Miller Hardware in 1955, we have from left Ernest Graham, then Leland Miller, Liesl Miller, Keith Kirkpatrick, and Milo or Shibe Lockridge. Mrs. Bolts came up. She expects her son Clarence to come and take her with him to Indianola. It is earlier than she usually goes to stay. She may be back for a while, but I doubt it. Elizabeth or Lizzie Geiger Bolts is Lib's 89-year-old neighbor who often stops by and sometimes stays to eat with Lib and Russell. After dinner and the work was done, I changed my dress and apron. I was glad I did, for Maddie Knipfer came and was here a while, and Frank came for her. Someone told him that Sylvia was at home. They were not expecting her, so they went. Maddie Ballard Knipfer, her birth name was Samantha Ballard, is on the right side of this picture with her siblings who were the children of Mr. and Mrs. John Ballard Sr. She was married to a man named Frank Knipfer. And they had 5 girls, with Sylvia being the oldest. Sylvia was a school teacher in Benton. Mrs. Trace McDonald came in to tell me about John Curry's funeral. It was today. He had a heart attack brought on by trying to start his tractor. Died shortly after going to the house. Dr. Sin was there, but the priest didn't get there until after he had passed away. Trace McDonald was the housekeeper for Father Dugan at the Catholic Rectory on Boland Avenue. Lib lived in Parnell before she moved to North English, so she was familiar with the Parnell people. Stella came. The royal neighbors met at the hall this p.m. She helped serve. Stella Wallace was a friend and the mother of Lib's daughter-in-law, Lena Wade. The royal neighbors was another social group, and their meeting was held at the IOOF hall, which was on the 2nd floor of the Locker building on Main Street. Evelyn and Kathy were here. Jenny has been to Dr. Moon, has pain in her breast, is worried but has been canning meat today. She sent us up her electric heater for me to use until we get more fuel in. Evelyn Kurtz is Lib's married granddaughter. And Kathy Kurtz is Evelyn's youngest daughter. Jenny is Evelyn's mother and is married to Lib's oldest son, Wayne or Perky Wade. Sunday, October 8th, 1950. Cloudy and cold, rained a little in the night. Russell took some material over to Otis this morning. Otis Claypool is Lib's nephew, the son of her brother Benton, and he is on the back right side in this picture. Mrs. Bolts was in. Her grandson didn't come for her as she expected him to do yesterday, so she won't go before next Sunday then. We have a fire in the range now, which makes it very comfortable. Also, Russell tipped the barrel, so have had some from the oil burner too. Russell came home and got ready to go to Sunday school and church, and then home for dinner. Went to Orville Carter's funeral in the p.m. Reverend Leroy Carter preached the sermon. Reverend Leroy Carter was the son of William and Harriet Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R, from the Hinkletown area east of town. Cecil Walsh made a frame for our fuel oil barrel. We'll have to get someone to put in a piece of copper tubing to connect it up. We'll try to get Don Hall in the morning. Cecil Walsh was the father of my late church friend Sandra Spain from Wattier. Ironically, Sandra and I lived in the same house on East Washington Street when we were children. She in the 1940s and early 1950s, and me in the late 1950s and early 60s. That house was built by her father, Cecil Walsh, and that house